Hello, I'm Devetta Smith, speaker, coach, and trainer, and I'm excited tonight to talk to you about living outside fear. Look, before we get started, this month is recognizing National Native American Alaskan Indian Month. I want to make sure I give a shout out to them as well as it's Veterans Day tomorrow. So, to all those that have served in the military, I want to tell you thank you for your sacrifice for our freedom, and thank you to you and your families for your service of love. I've been focusing this past week on living outside of fear. And after attending this powerful training called Impact with Antra 2 weeks ago, I tell you, I realized that I still had seeds of fear I needed to release. And there were things like distrust. And I had to take accountability to move forward in my life and live fearlessly because fear was holding me back in pockets of my life. I also realized in that training that I was not alone. Yeah, I was not alone. Fear looks different for everyone. And no matter what form it comes in, the end result is it paralyzes you unless you recognize and make a new agreement in your life, which I did. And I will no longer allow fear to rule me or prevent me or shut me down from pursuing what God has set before me. This week I focused on three things in my videos: exposing your fear, and in exposing your fear, I talked about becoming aware of your purpose and what's stopping you from achieving your goals and growing. I even gave you three ways to expose your fear. One was asking yourself, what exactly do you want to do? And then writing that fear down. What are those fears that you have? And acknowledging the fear in order to overcome it. And then another video I did this week was being hypnotized by fear. You know, News and the information that's coming out can sometimes hypnotize us with fear through terrible things that are happening around us in the world. And the last 2 years of the pandemic, a lot of that was going on. So I gave you again three more ways to expose your fears. And I said, number one was speak to your fear, call that fear by name, right? And then act through your fear, and then, and so that you can overcome it. And so I also talked about the third video that I did this week was on fear. Fear is a false evidence appearing real. Fear has relatives. Remember, I call them a liar, a dirty tool for manipulation and illusions. I gave you three ways to expose fears in that video. One was focusing on what's happening right now in your life. And number two, celebrating your moments of success, whether it's in your mind or reality, even looking back on the things that you've accomplished in your life and rejoicing and celebrating those times. And the third thing I gave you in that video was faith it until you make it, right? Through it all, we have to have faith in God. You will never walk alone in this journey. I was reading a book by Rabbi Daniel Lapin who said, you need to meet as many people as possible if you truly want to make a difference in the world and help as many people as possible. Sometimes fear can keep us from meeting other people because of distrust, disappointment, and even failed relationships. But the breakthrough is allowing people into your life so that you can be a better judge of those that should or even should not be in your life. It's all about perspective and learning how to be a better you. I realize there are really three phases that all of us go through in life. And it starts with either you living in fear as a victim with self doubt, critical, and hopeless, or living through fear, being identifying your fear, hope appears, and you start setting a path forward. And this journey takes time, it takes a process in getting through this. And the last part of that is living outside of fear, which is stretching yourself beyond your own perceived capabilities in the natural, becoming your authentic self and living free from shame, guilt, and defeat. In this phase, you'll find wealth, you'll find health and freedom to live in your purpose and fulfill your destiny. That's exciting news. As I examined these phases of fear for myself, I decided I was coming out of fear. With my hands surrendered, I wanted to start building a better relationships with like-minded people. Think for a moment and ask yourself, like I did, what phase are you in? If you say you're living fearless, then this teaching is for someone else you may know. Over the last year, I've done a series on let your light shine, better habits, affirmations, and now I'm doing living outside of fear. And each of these series has been meant to encourage, uplift, bring about a boldness for people who want something different in life, to do something different, to get a different result in their personal, physical, and professional life. That's my heart, that's my calling, and my joy to see people victorious. Is that for anyone today? Living victoriously? I hope so. Look, I'll be back next week with my good friend Eloise Davis. She's a prophet, speaker, prayer warrior, and my friend. And we'll be talking about having money is the end result of living fearless. All right. Be sure to get your free gift for joining today at bearengage.org.